The weather looks really nice today. Good time to do some captures, and it's kind of interesting with the contrast. Some areas there's huge clouds covering and the other areas are all sunny. With that in mind, what did I read today? I guess in terms of that contrast of weather, lots of negative news today, I guess, in terms of war and stuff, huh? How about this one in terms of drone attacks again? This one here says Sudan declares UAE enemy state after wave of drone strikes on its Red Sea port. Sudan has declared the United Arab Emirates an enemy state and is warning of a possible military response against the Gulf state after a barrage of drone strikes inflicted heavy damage on fuel depots and power stations in its wartime capital. Port Sudan, a previously safe city on the Red Sea that has served as Sudan's unofficial capital during 2 years of civil war, was hit with a wave of drone strikes on Tuesday for the third consecutive day. The strikes, a dramatic escalation of the war, prompted Sudan to announce that it will sever all diplomatic links to the Gulf state. It warned that it reserved the right to respond to the attacks by all necessary means. Sudan's military regime is blaming the UAE for supplying drones and other sophisticated weapons to the Rapid Support Forces, a powerful militia that has been fighting the Sudanese army for control of the country since 2023. The UAE has denied providing any weapons to the RSF, but media reports and human rights groups have often cited evidence of it. Could it be one of those situations where, let's just say, the drones or the parts are being distributed indirectly, let's just say through other channels? So I guess you can't directly blame the source like here, because they could say, hey, we have no say in this in terms of what happened in that regards. And at the same time, it says the lives of millions of civilians have been endangered by the drone strikes, which also pose a severe threat to regional and international security, especially in the Red Sea area. And if that wasn't enough, more war. Apparently, this is between India and Pakistan. It says India fires missiles on Pakistan. Islamabad calls it an act of war. Pakistan said Wednesday it will avenge those killed by India's missile strikes that New Delhi called retaliation for last month's massacre of Indian tourists in India-controlled Kashmir. Pakistan called the strikes an act of war and claimed it downed several Indian fighter jets. The missiles killed 31 people, including women and children, in Pakistan-administered Kashmir and the country's Punjab province. Pakistan's military said the strikes targeted at least 9 sites where terrorist attacks against India have been planned. India's defense ministry said 2 mosques were hit, and there was all these videos and stuff online too. While a lot of them are real, it seemed like there were so many fake ones too. Some of them look completely fake, as if they're straight from a video game, but at the same time, some people are taking clips, for example, from, let's just say, the war in Gaza and saying it's from here. But what's going on? Everyone fighting each other, huh? I think this is one of those examples where when you read too much mainstream news at times, it's so negative where it probably affects you personally if that's all you read about is this negative stuff and don't actually, I guess, go out and see what's going on in the world, like the peaceful stuff as well. Although with that said, I was reading this was going around a lot today. It dealt apparently with that story of that Epstein person and how people want to see the evidence. They want to see people locked up, but they're claiming here there's just too much stuff to go through at the moment, but they're doing it. Like here it says, Pam Bondi dismisses claims Epstein info is missing and defends delays in releasing files. Attorney General Pam Bondi dismissed allegations that the Jeffrey Epstein files are missing, stating that the FBI is reviewing tens of thousands of videos featuring the disgraced financier with children. Republican Rep. James Cormer said on a conservative commentator Benny Johnson's show that he believes the Justice Department doesn't have the Epstein files, saying, quote, "I hope they're not shredding documents right now," the Kentucky congressman said. Citing Comer's remarks, a reporter asked Bondi on Wednesday morning whether the documents were, quote, missing, to which she said no. The FBI, they're reviewing tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. The FBI is diligently going through that. She continued, noting the large volume of files. She added there are hundreds of victims. Yeah, this story has been going on forever in terms of bringing this guy and his, I guess, accomplices or whatever you want to say to justice. What was the truth? Did he actually, quote, kill himself? It just seems like at this rate, people are just going to get away with it, huh? And it makes me think too, actually, because they say here there's so much files, video evidence and all that. It's being reviewed. Obviously, it's really disgusting. Does someone literally have to sit there and watch everything too? Like here, with all this child abuse and so forth? I can't imagine like that job. It must be terrible, huh? I was even reading a story in relation to that, actually, like with platforms, even like YouTube, there are some people, when it's not like, let's just say a bot, like a human reviewer, they get so stressed for the job because they have to review these videos, and some of them, they're so vile and gross. So can you imagine that, having to watch through hundreds of hours of those type of content every single day? It makes me wonder about the person's mental health when they're going through something like that for the job per se. Alright, see you guys later.